Heyo, and what the fuck was that, gang? They just had to ruin it, right? They had to ruin it. They had a great show going. I was having a great birthday, and then they had to end the show the way they did, and I simply cannot understand it. We're going to talk about it right here and right now. It's the funniest thing I have ever fucking seen in my life. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Hell in a Cell review. Let's figure this one out together right now. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, let me compose myself and stop with the laughter. I feel like maybe they've driven me insane with that ending because they've obviously lost their fucking minds. Do they have any idea what they have done with the end of this show? You guys that have watched the show tonight, you know for a fact that you had a fucking great time. We got some fantastic wrestling. We had 2.5 hours of absolutely fine professional wrestling based entertainment. Nice long match times, pretty good outcomes for the most part of the evening, and then you want to send everybody home with this ridiculous sour red rope licorice taste in their mouths because you made the cage red to distract from the fact that you wanted to book an absolute fucking circus for the main event of this show, and all to keep safe the sacred name and the legacy that is Roman Reigns. What about the legacy that is Hell in a Cell that you just shit all over with the ending that you had tonight? Smacking Mick Foley right in the face while he's fucking standing there. Mick Foley, 20 years. You want to talk about 20 years ago? Hell in a Cell all week. We got to see it. It's all over WWE.com. They're talking about it on Raw, SmackDown. We want to relive it. You had this guy who's in the ring as the referee fall from 15 feet, explode through a table, go through the ceiling of the cage, exposing a tooth, dislodging it through the top of his mouth, out his nose, going through a bed of tacks, taking a million chair shots throughout the entirety of the match, dislocated shoulder, the whole 9 yards. That match wasn't stopped. Did you stop that match? How fucking dare you stop this matchup with still a good 20 minutes to go before you had to cut off of the air? It was barely 10:40, and they put the logo up with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns laid out to waste by Brock fucking Lesnar of all people. Why? For the shock value? Because nobody expected Brock Lesnar to be there tonight. Michael Cole had to make sure everybody heard that because nobody expected it. We did something surprising, right? But you did something wrong. As usual, you took a great night and in one fell swoop, you absolutely destroyed everything. Follow me. Let me show you guys. You guys, oh, how did they destroy it? It was a great match. We seen some good stuff. No. No. Do you realize that they put Braun Strowman on the list of people who have failed to cash in their Money in the Bank contract now? Braun Strowman cashed in this contract for this match. This match ended with no winner. He failed. The failure in the bank. The giant monster failed. He sits next to Damian Sandow. He sits next to John Cena as a failure. For what? So Roman Reigns don't have to lose clean? So we can have some kind of bullshit finish tonight that means absolutely nothing to try to generate some false sense of, what's the fucking word? You're failing to generate genuine excitement by having the Rollins and Ambrose and Ziggler and McIntyre come out there. They're climbing the cage. You got Rollins and Ambrose falling off the sides of the cage like Shawn Michaels did back in the day. And you cannot force a moment like Mick Foley created 20 years ago. That was the only reason these guys were out there, to distract you guys from what was about to go down with the finish of this match and make you feel like what you saw was awesome. What did Braun Strowman do that was so awesome? What did Roman Reigns do that was so awesome? They gave that moment to two of the best athletes on the roster, risking their health and their life and their careers to put it on a big spot so that Roman Reigns' match could be looked at as a great fucking match. Tell me I'm wrong. Because there's no other reason for them to be out there on the top of the cell and taking bumps like that. That wasn't even their match. There was nothing at stake. They weren't defending the titles. They weren't fighting for a title. They weren't even fighting to protect Roman physically. It was all to fool you. To butter you guys up like a toasty piece of bread and say, here, eat this. I'm not eating it because it tastes like shit. I see through all of your nonsense. You made both Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns look like complete assholes. Do you guys realize while Rollins and company were flipping around and climbing and doing all this shit for a good 10 to 15 minutes, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns were laying down in the ring, taking a nice long breather. They should have been well recovered enough to be able to withstand a table shot and an F5 from Brock Lesnar out of nowhere. You want to call this match up. What happened to Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns that was so devastating that they could not get up to continue? When Mick Foley dislocated his shoulder, lost teeth, had tacks in his back, and the guy still wanted to climb up into the cage over and over again. You telling me Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman don't have respect for the business? Of course they do. This is what they're told to do. And we have to sit back and take it like, okay, what am I supposed to fucking think about these two men? They can't continue. Brock Lesnar is suddenly so devastating that he can hit one F5, beat you up with half of a table, and you can't continue. You're Braun Strowman. You're the big dog. Get the fuck up. You've been laying on the floor for a good 20 minutes as it is. How devastated were you that you can't continue a Hell in a Cell match that is supposed to have a winner? There's supposed to not be any bullshit where there's no winner here. How does this match not have a conclusion? I could understand if Braun and Roman imploded the cage on their own. They absolutely made it come apart at the seams and fall all over the crowd, and now we can't finish the matchup. But the way they pulled this off tonight, and then you got Paul Heyman spraying mace in the face of Mick Foley, for what fucking reason? He was the referee. Shouldn't he have been the one to make the decision whether or not the match could continue or not? Everything all boiled down to chaos. WWE wants to go on Twitter right away. Oh, there's only one word to describe that main event. Chaos. I have another word to describe that Universal Championship match. Bullshit. Bullshit. And then you want to go off the air so quickly because before the crowd could even realize what happened and start to boo the shit out of the place, they cut off of air and went to Mick Foley's little Comedy Central stand-up wannabe show that I will be watching later on. But in that moment, I knew for a fact that this is the worst professional wrestling company on the planet. When you give me 2.5 hours of a great show, it shows me that you can do it. It literally, you're showing us here, you guys, here's 2 hours of what you are looking for. Great wrestling, deep storylines, and everything that makes sense. Winners that make sense, losers that make sense. Everything was peachy fucking keen, Jelly Bean. And then what did you do? This. And you don't want me to call you out on it. You want me to sit back and just enjoy the show. I enjoyed the shit out of this show. Until you wanted to give me Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. Until you wanted to give me this as the finish to a Hell in a Cell match that up until that point really wasn't doing much of anything. All the excitement from this Hell in a Cell match came from people that were not involved or booked in this Hell in a Cell match. And I'm supposed to say, no, it was great. It was great. Everything we seen was great. Did you see Rollins go through the table? He was great. Did you see Brock Lesnar destroy everybody? It was great, man. It was exciting. It was unexpected. It was bullshit. Holy cow. I don't understand it. I really, really don't. All for what? You guys let me know in the comments down below. Why do you think this happened the way that it did? Because I can't fucking figure it out. The only thing it points to is the protection of Roman Reigns. They didn't want him coming out losing. So you sacrifice Braun Strowman. And you literally sacrifice Rollins and Ziggler. You sacrifice Mick Foley. You spit in the face of the legacy that is Hell in the Cell. Countless men went in there and endured way more damage. Way more damage than what we've seen tonight between Roman and Braun, and everyone else was able to continue. Ridiculous. Let's talk about the rest of the show, which was actually not so bad. We had some good moments on the night, and it started right off at the pre-show. The New Day versus Rusev Day was a much better match than I thought it was going to be, but it did end up exactly like I told you guys it would. The New Day retained their SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. The belts ain't going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon, for all I know. And Rusev Day, once again, in this moment, they gave them this win and this push through the tag team tournament to lead them to a breakup of sorts. I told you guys we were going to see a miscommunication. It's been on the outside of this Rusev Day storyline, just waiting to burst in. It's going to become Aiden versus Rusev. I don't think anybody's going to give a shit about that. I already kind of don't, and just want Rusev to be taken away from the whole thing. If you have to erase Rusev Day from the calendar, go right ahead and move on to something new, because it's over and dead. The minute I saw an Happy Aiden Day shirt on ShopZone.com, I knew Rusev Day is officially dead. Lana was the beginning, and now the stake in the heart is Aiden English and Happy Aiden Day. Absolutely not. This was supposed to be all a vehicle for Rusev, and it's blown up so big in his face, and the WWE has no plans in place, like I told you initially, to put those belts on Rusev Day. We are going to see them crumble from within, and the New Day are going to go on to fight the Bar at the Super Showdown. The runners-up. I guess that's the logic. Well, the guys that lost in the finals of the tournament, will give them a tag team championship opportunity as well. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You got a few weeks before Super Showdown. Why not do something else to qualify somebody or something? Now we're just handing out matches now. Paige is handing out the matches. Drinking tea and biscuits. We showed up tonight. Looking pretty damn good with her new little haircut, I have to say. Props to Paige. Looking good tonight, honey. You know what wasn't looking good? Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. And I mean that in a good way, because that was a very good Hell in a Cell match to kick off the show. You knew that the WWE was going to sandwich the Hell in a Cells. One was going to start the show, one was going to end the show. You knew which one was going to end the show, so obviously Orton and Hardy were going to start the show, and boy, did they get things started in a big way. This was a very intense matchup. Lots of weirdness coming from Randy Orton. I don't think I have ever physically been squirming in my seat in terror as I was tonight during a wrestling match, while Randy Orton took a screwdriver, put it in the exposed earlobe, the one that he had his way with a few weeks ago. You know, honey, come here with your earlobe. He's got a little thing for Jeff Hardy's earlobes. He likes sticking things in there. Maybe you should go see a doctor about that, Mr. Orton. But he puts a screwdriver in his hole and then starts to twist and twist and twist. And you can see the tension in the earlobe and the color starting to turn white as Randy Orton just keeps fucking twisting. And I'm sitting here like, ah! I swear to you, right in this chair, looking at my TV right there going, stop it! Just stop it right now. I don't want to see this anymore. Stop this whole entire match. Get that man away from his ear. It's not cool. It was absolutely driving me insane. The rest of the match was fantastic. Like I said, very, very intense, and it ended in a big way. I do have one little thing I will say about it. Jeff Hardy climbed to the top of a ladder that was inside the Hell in a Cell, as it would be if there's a Hardy Boy inside. Of course, you're going to find a ladder somewhere around the Hardys, right? So he pulls these ladders out. I think he was intending on doing some sort of a leaping thingamabob, but then changed it to ascend to the top of the ladder and then grab the support beams at the top of the cage. And then make his way over to Randy Orton, who was draped across a table that was set up in the middle of the ring. Jeff Hardy begins to swing back and forth and back and forth, and then would go to fall on top of Randy Orton and explode through this table, which was way, way scarier and much more organic in nature, so it's actually worth remembering. A true Hell in a Cell moment happening before your eyes. Not what they did at the end of the show. And I'm immediately worried about the health and well-being of Jeff Hardy. My one thing I wanted to tell you guys is, the only thing I didn't like about that spot was Randy Orton either reacted too soon, maybe he thought Jeff Hardy was going to release, and Jeff gave one more good swing for good luck, but Randy Orton was off the table way before Jeff Hardy let go, and if I'm Jeff Hardy and I see that, I'm not letting go. I'm just putting it out there. Like, oh, he moved. Let me keep swinging here like a monkey until I figure out what I want to do. But that's just a matter of timing. It was obviously set up to go the way it did, and it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. We all knew Jeff Hardy was going to do something to almost kill himself tonight, and he definitely did not disappoint, although that's not really what I want to see him do. It was very, very impressive. It was very dangerous, and I really hope he's okay. We were getting news flashes throughout the night. Michael Cole wanted to say that he's in the hospital still. He's spitting up blood and things of that nature. I do not know of any of the facts about it. I don't know how true any of those statements are, or if it's just storyline to put him over. Maybe he's going to be out for a couple of weeks following this. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but I don't really know what the facts are just yet. I will keep you guys updated as soon as I hear anything, as Randy Orton defeats Jeff Hardy in the Hell in a Cell. Fantastic way to kick off the show. And then a highly anticipated encounter for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Everybody, I think, on this whole entire planet, with the exception of possibly Ric Flair and his new bride and the rest of his new family, was rooting for Becky Lynch tonight. It was clearly heard at the stadium tonight. It was heard all over the world on social media when Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair tangoed tonight, and Becky Lynch came out on top and is now our new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. I had no problem with this match. This was actually one of the better matches I have seen Charlotte Flair have. Giving the credit where credit is due, she can wrestle when you put her in there against other people that she can wrestle with. When you want to put her in there with trash, you're going to get trash out of her. What have we been seeing out of Charlotte Flair? Charlotte versus Carmella, right? We just saw Charlotte versus Little Miss Twitch, Sonya Deville. We've seen her fight Mandy Rose and these girls. You put her against somebody at a higher level, you are going to get a higher level out of Charlotte Flair, which is exactly what we got tonight. The match was fine, only made better by the fact that Becky won, and everybody was making a big stink about what happened after the matchup. Charlotte Flair apparently extending her hand in friendship, Becky Lynch telling her, screw you, bitch, getting right in her face, holding the belt up in her face like, yeah, no, I told you I was coming for this, and I came for this, and that's it. I'm out of here. And I loved every minute of it, but I see everybody going, oh, well, Becky's still a heel. No, she's not. No, she's not. The WWE's just got no balls. WWE didn't have the balls to have Charlotte Flair attack Becky Lynch after she won tonight, pulling the double turn tonight at Hell in a Cell and setting everything right. And now we are still going to have this very weird, awkward, Charlotte's good, and we all are cheering Becky, but she's going to be bad, and she's going to have attitude, and she's going to skirt the lines, but she didn't cheat to win tonight. She did not take advantage of Charlotte. She didn't use a foreign object. She won fair and square. Absolutely a babyface style win for a babyface superstar, at least in the eyes of the fans, in the fans of the eyes. What's wrong with me? Getting overexcited. Very, very happy with the outcome of that one. However, time to drop the hammer as I always do, because like I told you in the preview, do not be surprised if this was just something to shut most of us up for a short while. And the minute you see Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship booked for the Super Showdown or Evolution, Charlotte Flair will most likely become a 6-time Women's Champion. Not that that's what I want to see, but we all know the WWE, and he'll have his way, Mr. McMahon, when all is said and done. I guarantee it. The tag team matchup for the Raw Tag Team titles. My God, I can't even talk about this match. It was so damn good. 4 singles superstars that are thrown together into 2 makeup tag teams. I know Rollins and Ambrose are the Shield and whatever, but really they have been doing their own thing over the last couple of years. They haven't really been a tag team of sorts until the last couple of weeks or so. And McIntyre and Ziggler, we all know that's been pretty new. And these 4 guys went out there and showed the entire tag team division how to wrestle a tag team wrestling match. This was absolutely picture perfect. This was high drama, very, very well executed, lots of great spots. Everybody shined. Everybody shined brightly in this match, and it was absolutely beautiful. The finish of which was my favorite part. There were so many close near falls that I couldn't tell when the finish was actually going to come, that when it did, it surprised the shit out of me. Dolph Ziggler was on the top turnbuckle. Seth Rollins comes running across the ring, jumps up there like a cat, and gets him into a suplex position, executing the top rope suplex, flipping over, going to follow up into the Falcon Arrow Slam like he likes to do, only to get a Claymore right in the face out of nowhere, landing Dolph Ziggler on top of him and getting the 3 count for the victory. I can't say enough about how good this tag team matchup is. And it's one of those matchups which is, like I tell you guys why we don't talk about NXT, is that most of the times it's just too good. And when something is that good, it's very, very hard to talk about. Very hard. It's much easier for me to find the negatives and tell you guys what wasn't that good when I can't just sit here and just say, oh, how great. Great. Everything was great. Every move they did was great. But that's essentially what the hell happened. That tag team matchup was fantastic. 5 stars. Probably the best match of the whole entire night, even though it was followed by a very, very, very good AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe match. Like I said, every match on this night had a tremendous amount of time, and this is what you get when you don't want to overbook the card with 15, 14 matchups, right? We got 8 solid matchups, 1 on the pre-show. Every one of them felt great, except for the Raw Women's Championship and the mixed tag, but we'll get to those in a second. AJ Styles, this match, again, would be all about the finish by the time it was said and done. Controversy reigns supreme as the phenomenal AJ Styles got the pinfall victory over Samoa Joe only because of some shenanigans, as the referee was not in proper position to see AJ Styles actually tapping out to the Coquina Clutch, which he was locked into, and just happened to roll over the shoulders of Samoa Joe, a la Rowdy Roddy Piper and Bret the Hitman Hart back from WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. And it was very well executed. Joe thought he won the match. He felt the tap on his side, so that when he let go of AJ Styles and heard the bell, he automatically assumed he won. When JoJo made the opposite announcement, the face on Samoa Joe completely changed from this almost orgasmic, euphoric look of, yes, I did it, to give me somebody to murder right now, which is just vintage Samoa Joe. This match felt like a lot of the other matches I have seen them have in TNA, and I welcomed it very much. It's something you don't see that much on WWE TV. It was very ground and pound. At the same time, AJ got his stuff out there. Samoa Joe looked like the beast he was, and even though he ended up losing this match, the controversy makes everybody come out looking clean as a whistle. AJ Styles looked fucked up when this match was over. I don't know if he broke his nose. He looked like he was having trouble breathing, but if you were in there with a Samoan submission machine, you'd probably have trouble breathing by the end of the night too. Nothing to say bad about this encounter. It was everything that I wanted it to be from start to finish, because even in the end, we have no finality, and this is a road we are going to explore further. And with everything Joe and Styles has done in the last couple of weeks, you can't tell me you don't want to see more. And I'm hoping like heck that Samoa Joe and AJ have a rematch at the Super Showdown, and we get to see Samoa Joe crowned champion for the first time in his life as the WWE champion. No matter how long it may be, the man deserves a run with the title. His work with AJ tonight is proof of that. They are both fantastic. I love this match. It was great. Now comes the point in the pay-per-view where, we're going up, and then we stayed pretty steady. Everything was pretty good, right? And then we just gonna start to get ready to dip on that coaster. And it's not like a nice little gradual dip. It's like a straight off 90 degree, like, wow, did we drop off in quality. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. The Miz and Maurice win this matchup. I really didn't give a shit about it. It was the first time on the whole entire evening that I actually found myself disinterested. I didn't care. There's nothing at stake. It doesn't matter. This is a battle of two newly parented married couples. I guess it's kind of cutesy, right? And all the Divas fans and the Bellas fans are all into it, right? But all I wanted to see was Daniel and The Miz. And when they were in the ring, it's what you want to see. But like I said, why are we doing this with the ladies right now? Just didn't really need to happen. And by the end of it, the only thing that we come talking away about is the fact that Brie Bella absolutely busted open The Miz. She gave him some stiff right hands, right? Now, I'm sitting here going, the rules, right? The rules of a mixed tag team match state that the men have to fight the men, the women have to fight the women. I might be crazy, or maybe I'm the only one thinking like this, but by Brie Bella assaulting The Miz during the match, isn't that a disqualification? She broke the fucking rules. She broke the rules. You're not supposed to touch the dudes. And props to her for busting the man open. She legit laid into The Miz. She knotted him up. He was bleeding from the side of the eye where she caught him. And I think you can see the shot where she actually caught him, too. If you go back and watch it again, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see it. But I'm not okay with this. I'm not really okay with this. Like, all right, it was cute and it was fun the first time, right? But let's just put the shoe on the other foot. Do you think for 1 minute it would be okay to show somebody punching a woman in the face, or to show The Miz slapping around his wife, or to show Daniel Bryan intentionally pulling somebody's hair? Like, what's the firestorm going to be on something like that? And why is it okay to have it the opposite way? I just don't understand it. You want to call me a sexist? I don't give a shit. It's not that a man can't take a punch or anything, but I'm just saying it's a double standard. And that's what the WWE loves to operate on more than anything else. And I just don't see why that's okay. That's an okay message to send. Like, your wife is mad at this guy. She could knock that guy out, right? And then what's going to happen? You're out with your girl, right? You're going out, you're partying. You got this other couple over here. They're trying to one-up you, right? You guys get into a little scuffle, right? The guy says some shit, and your girl don't like it. She pops him in the mouth. What's the next thing that's going to happen? You're in a fight now, because the guy can't hit the girl, And that's essentially what they're doing here. Are we watching Jersey Shore? Is she being Snooki or JWoww? No. This is wrestling. And the rules state men versus men, women versus women. The minute if Daniel Bryan punched punched Maurice in the face during this match, would he have not been disqualified? I'm just saying. The rest of this match, the quality was nothing. The Miz and Daniel Bryan were very minimal, and the ending of this match was given to the women in a very sloppy and uncoordinated roll-up sort of, back and forth finish, which I really could care less about. And Maurice, like I said, gets the pin on Brie Bella to their surprise, and everybody's all surprised, and I don't care. Moving along. Ronda Rousey taps out Alexa Bliss in a match that was about 8 minutes too long. And I say 8 minutes too long because I think the total match time was about 8 minutes. I could be wrong, but however long the match was, that was way too long. Ronda Rousey should have just came out there, obliterated Alexa Bliss, and let's just move away from this story. I didn't need to see Alicia Fox coming out dressed up like Marilyn Manson with fringes. I didn't need to see Natalya out there again. We didn't see Mickie James coming out there half naked, although she looked freaking fantastic. I didn't need to see any of that. I wanted to see Ronda Rousey just go out there and handle her business. She's a UFC Hall of Famer. That's what needed to be done. But instead, because of some weird rib injury that we seen, which I was afraid they were going to try to play for all it was worth, and they did during this matchup, Alexa Bliss was getting in all kinds of offense she shouldn't have been getting in on. The other girls were getting involved, trying to pull Alexa out as Ronda's trying to execute an armbar. Everything was done very sloppily and very uncoordinated and just very bad, man. This whole match, there's not one redeeming quality about it, especially when you want to take into account that the UFC Hall of Famer that all you are so high on, that everybody loves, right? She's a legit submission specialist. How can she not do a fucking armbar? Her armbar is terrible. It looks like she's not executing anything. She looks like she's holding hands and then dropping to the floor. It's terrible. You got Becky Lynch, who's out there doing the disarmer, which is an armbar. You got Alexa Bliss doing arm bars that looked even better than the one that Ronda Rousey did tonight, and that one was garbage. I don't understand it. You're a submission mat technician. How are you not able to do a simple day one maneuver like an armbar? And then I'm not supposed to call out on that, right? I'm supposed to just let it go. Because she's Rowdy Ronda, and Rowdy gave her the name. I don't give a shit. She shouldn't be in the position she's in. She should be wrestling in the mid-card, earning her spot until she's ready to shine, because she will be. Ronda Rousey's going to be great. She's not right now. This match is all you need to prove that. I will give her credit. The girl is good with selling an injury. And I will give her props for stopping Natalya from raising the rib side that was supposed to be hurt in Celebration. She definitely was trying to sell the injuries. I appreciate things like that. She did sell very well in the ring, but the rest of it, we didn't need it. We didn't need to see Little Miss Bliss throwing around a UFC Hall of Famer like she actually can do something, only to be tapping out before the armbar is even executed. She right even before Ronda hit the mat, she grabbed the arm, she starts falling down, Alexa is tapping. Like, it was awful. But not nearly as bad as the end of this fucking show, the no contest finish between your two biggest, most powerful people on the main roster right now. What did you accomplish with that finish that we saw tonight? What was accomplished? I told you guys straight off the bat. They destroyed the legacy of the Hell in a Cell. They destroyed anything of value with Braun Strowman. They put him on a list of failures. Don't forget that. But you're going to be alright with it, right? You're going to be excited. Because somebody went off the cage. The cage was red. It's new. Can't get any further removed from what we had and what we got 20 years ago. Mick Foley. How dare you even compare that to this scenario? You want to put that in the forefront of our minds to make us believe that, oh, well, maybe they've been put through the worst, most intense Hell in a Cell of all time. What did they do? Tell me. What did they do to render themselves unable to defend themselves from Brock Lesnar after sleeping for a good 10 minutes at least while Cirque du Soleil came the fuck to town? And we seen Rollins and Ziggler flipping and Ambrose with the kendo stick, swinging it around at the top of the cage like a fucking maniac. All for what? That was a 6-man Hell in a Cell? My opinion's probably different. But these guys had their match already. They were already match of the night. They didn't need to come out a second time. All to protect the big dog. Absolute garbage. I am so mad that they ruined what was essentially going on as a great show. If you take the first 5 matchups of the night and you stop the pay-per-view with the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, this was a fantastic show. But then you got those other 2 matches from Raw and an unnecessary mixed tag, which I could take or leave. It had its moments of entertaining tidbits, but essentially the mixed tag could have done without. For the most part, I enjoyed Hell in a Cell. It was a good show until the end, which just made me like, so, wow, that's really all we can say about tonight's show, and I hope you guys had just as much fun as I did. It's been a pretty good birthday here for me today. It would be an even better birthday if we could get to 1,000 subscribers by morning. That's a tall order, but I know it can be done because there are awesome people like you who are not subscribed yet, possibly, who enjoyed today's show. You know I'm right about everything I said. You gotta be here to see what I have to say as the hammer comes down on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. SmackDown Live every single Tuesday. Mae Young Classic coverage every single Wednesday night. And everything you need in your world of professional wrestling will always be right here on Sledgehammer Wrestling. The Sledgehammer Wrestling shows. Raw review, SmackDown review, everything is all here. I just totally screwed that up. I'm trying to pitch myself to you, and I just screwed up my outro. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's just go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Become one of the hundreds that already know that Sledgehammer TV is the place to be. And, you know, wrestling, WWE, they screw up. So do we. At least I acknowledge it, and I try to make changes and make sure it doesn't happen again. I'm sure we're going to see something else, but very much like tonight, tomorrow night, on Monday Night Raw. Thank you guys also very much for coming on board this weekend. If you have subscribed, if not, don't forget to hit that fucking subscribe button right now. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Smash that thumbs up. Make sure everybody knows that you like this video, that I know that you like this video, and that I can continue to keep bringing the thunder and bringing the hammer down right here like you guys always love to hear me do. Please fill that comment section up with each and everything that you guys want to let me know. If you want to know what I have to think, what I have to say about something that you're thinking, all you have to do is let me know in the comment section down below. Follow me on Twitter at Nick Nightmare. You could ask me over there. You could ask me at the Facebook page, facebook.com, The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, all one word. And of course, if you are listening on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, or Podbean, baby, get your earballs over to youtube.com/Sledgehammer TV and use your eyeballs to watch and enjoy the show. Shows always go up first on the YouTube channel, so make sure that you are there to check it out. And when you do, join the Sledgehammer Club while you're over there as well. Thank you guys. I'm messing up all over the place on the way out of here, so we are going to call it a night on that. Hell in a Cell made me so blah, 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 blah. By the end of the night, we'll have to see what comes at us tomorrow. I am Nick Nightmare. This is my team for the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball Microphone. We're so glad to be here with you guys. As always, thank you all so very much. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. They just had to ruin it.